Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and I changed the greeting manner from hello everyone to hello everybody, but I have said, hello everyone because, it was easier for me to pronounce everyone than everybody, but this time I tried to say hello everybody, so the pronunciation is tough for me, and this time what I'd like to talk about is that, how much how much can U.S. military people cause trouble, which is the title I'd like to talk about. And what let me tell you the meaning of that title. So I'm recording to start with. I'm recording this episode on January 2022. So just after the end of 2021. So which means, as corona, the pandemic of coronavirus has lasted since last year, not last year, 2 years from approximately 2 years before, the pandemic of coronavirus has existed for these years or for these months or almost 24 months. Anyway, I'm in such a situation, and maybe if you are listening to this episode around this time or around this present time or around that time, maybe you are in the pandemic of coronavirus. So if you are listening to this episode, for example, years after the pandemic, or far, or maybe 10 years, like 10 years after, or 20 years after this time, so please please remember, or please ask somebody else, how was the pandemic, like, or how the pandemic was like. I'm sorry, grammatical mistake. So you know what I'd like to talk about is that, so recently, or months before, Omicron strain was discovered. Omicron strain of coronavirus was discovered, and that that has spread in Okinawa Prefecture in my country. So who spreads that virus? Or who triggers the wide infection? Or who spreads that Omicron strain or coronavirus is America, US US military US military people, or United States people of military service, who who spread who spread who spread coronavirus in Okinawa Prefecture. So so comparing the number of the patients of coronavirus between Okinawa Prefecture and Tokyo is which is capital city in my country, and the the number of the patients in Okinawa exceeded that of Tokyo. So which means, the severity of infection, or the intensity of the infection of coronavirus in Okinawa is really high. So comparing with the population between Okinawa and Tokyo, has uh, Tokyo has far larger population than that of Okinawa. So anyway, so the cause of the widespread of the coronavirus this time in Okinawa is military people working for the military service of the United States of America, because US bases. I don't know whether you understand. I don't know whether you know the meaning of US bases, but US bases means the facilities of United States of America, US forces, United States force. So the meaning of US base is military facilities of United States forces. So which means, many many people of armies, navies, and air forces work in those bases, which is why, there are many American military people coming from the United States of America to Japan. So there are many military American people coming from the United States of America to my country. So which means our country our country is in such a situation. So one of the places having US bases is Okinawa Prefecture, and which is why this time people in people in Okinawa some people in Okinawa caught coronavirus or caught Omicron strains of coronavirus. So you know, but in this episode, what I'd like you to know is that how much people can cause trouble for others. So in the, in this case, let me tell you the conclusion. The conclusion, the conclusion, or what I think about that case is that if the infection is not intentional, I think that should be for that action of U.S. military people should be forgiven, which means let me tell you again. So if the infection, if the infection of Okinawa people in Okinawa was the truth is that the infection to people in Okinawa was caused by the people of U.S. military U.S. military service, but that should be forgiven. So which means people of United States force should be forgiven, or how should I say anyway, forgiven. They shouldn't be permitted, but they should be forgiven, because maybe in this situation, if you are in this pandemic situation, I think you can understand, because we are in, we have some risks. We have some risks living on, which means I work for a Japanese company, and when I commute to my workplace, I have two risks, which is one risk which is to infect other people, or to cause infections to other people, which means I may pass the virus I have to other people. And another risk is that I may I may be infected, because I may I may be I may be passed the virus to myself. I will tell you again. One risk is one risk is that I may pass others the virus I have, and another risk is I may be passed the the virus owned by others, which is those two risks are what we have when we go outside, or when we do something with others. So which means maybe I don't know the details of the infection happened in Okinawa, but maybe people want to go outside, and maybe people want to maybe people want to join party, or maybe people want to have party, or maybe you know like my case, people go to workplaces, and in every actions like them have certain risks certain risks of infections, which is why but we do not do such actions with an intention to infect infect the virus to others, or infect others the virus, which means maybe those people of maybe those army people, or Air Force people, or Navy people of the US forces did not intend to infect people in Okinawa. So which is why of course such infections are really such infections are expectable. It's possible to predict the outbreak of such infections, or it was class this time the clusters were created in Okinawa, and which is easily expected, and which is easily predicted, because many people have these years, many people have done such things like doing parties, or going to workplaces, and doing making love each other, by doing which people have passed their own viruses to others, for these years, or for these 20 some months. But such a such actions, such infections are not intentional. Of course, some people try to infect others. Such person existed. Such person, there was such person in my country, at least in my country. So there was some person who tried to pass his own virus to others, and he was a patient, and finally he passed away, and he passed away last year maybe. Anyway, but that is an exception. So most people do not have any intention to pass their own viruses to others. So considering which, those military people should be those military people of United States forces should be forgiven for for their for their kickstart, or for their accidental creation of clusters of coronavirus. So, like which, people make mistakes, and people accidentally injure, or people accidentally break what other people have, like which, while other, people sometimes, destroy the belongings of other people accidentally. So, like which, if those actions, or if those wrongdoings are not intentional, I think those actions should be, or those wrongdoings should be forgiven. And there's a I have heard of a proverb, which is an Indian proverb, in my understanding, and as long as I can remember, and that is, you have to stand the troubles caused by others, because you cause trouble for others, which is which is the meaning of proverb of the proverb of of India. And I think I love this proverb. And people try. Of course, in most cases, people try not to cause trouble for others. People are careful of not causing trouble for others. But people cause trouble for others when you live on, and when I live on. Maybe I cause trouble for others and accidentally, and maybe you cause trouble for others accidentally to others, cause trouble for others accidentally. So, like which, we should forgive each other, and we should be tolerant to the wrongdoings of other people. And finally, if you are European people, I think you understand that, sometimes, American people are troublesome, because, if you have a presentation, for example, American people frequently ask questions, which is what I heard from a Japanese person. And, he or she has a rich experience of international works. Anyway, so I wouldn't like to identify him or her. And anyway, so what I was saying is that, anyway, so maybe some European people find American people troublesome, but they was just asking questions, and asking questions is not bad stuff, bad actions. So also, if those American people were asking questions with an intention to cause trouble for you, that is a wrongdoing, and that should be blamed for. But if those American people are asking questions because they want to know the answer to those questions, so that should be forgiven, or that should be permitted. So, like which, of course, it is said that, American people never stop asking questions, which is what I heard in my country, and people in my country think like that. But, of course, that action itself is troublesome. But, if they want to know the answers to the questions they have, asking questions should be their asking questions should be forgiven. And finally, if they are, in the case of, for example, football plays, for example, football is the meaning of British English. So in American English, that is called soccer. So if there are two football teams, and they play the game, and one team A won, team B lost. In which situation, if you are a fan of, for example, Team B, and you will feel sick about the victory of Team A, but that situation should be forgiven because the members of team A just play the football game, which means those team members didn't intentionally for cause trouble for you. In this case, if you are a fan of Team B, like which just considering that anything is fine. Considering, for example, baseball play or soccer games, and anything is fine. If they played something and sometimes teams you like lose, and sometimes teams you like win. But in which case, team members aren't wrong, or those team members didn't injure didn't intentionally injure your feeling, which is why although the teams you like lose or win, you should not blame for their losses or victories, which is what I think. So because those team members are not guilty for your for your feeling for you feeling embarrassed, which is what I'd like you to know. So going back to the original title, the conclusion was my opinion is that people working for those people who spread that coronavirus in Okinawa and who are of military service of United States of American force, and they should be those American people should be forgiven for their accidental spread of coronavirus. Although that spread that 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 spreading action or that spreading also that accidental proliferation was easily expectable, but that should be forgiven. That's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you.